Hey everybody, what's going on? This is a video about my superfood greens powder. It's the middle of winter here and I'm not able to really grow too much in my garden anymore. So over the course of this past year, I've harvested quite a bit of moringa and quite a bit of nettles. And so what I did was I let them dry, basically let them dry out on a dry flat surface outside. Flip them over, dry them again, bring them inside, and let them dry even more if they need to until they're like crinkly and they like break when you touch them. And then I just blended them up and put them very finely. I sifted them, and if there were stuff left over after sifting, I then blended that until it got even finer, and then ended up with this type of powder here. I'm trying to see if you can see there. See if the camera will focus. It smells kind of like yerba mate or like tea. And I think there's just, so many really good compounds. And this is, moringa nettles are very, very high in antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. And that's why this thing weighs heft. And so I'm using a spoon here to kind of scoop out. You can make tea out of it. But mostly I'll put it into food that I'm making if I want to add some extra nutrition. The trick is, I have a pretty good palate for greens, but I put a scoop of this into a bean dip I was making, and man, it tasted like I was eating a houseplant. Like, it was very strong in terms of its flavor, because normally when I'm cooking with these greens, I'm cooking them into the food, and the cooking process makes them a little more mild. But because I added a lot, and because these are raw and they're dried, it increases the flavor, concentrates the flavor, and makes it a little bit less palatable. So I'm, per serving, if I'm making a recipe, and I don't want it to really flavor the recipe, I'm using maybe about a half scoop here. And that's, let's see, how many ounces is that? That would be about 3.5 grams, about 1/8 of an ounce. So that's a good amount to put in. And if you were to look at what this would look like in terms of the real greens, this would be a big bowl of moringa nettles. Maybe not a big bowl, but a hefty amount. So don't get too carried away when you're making these powders. But this is really powerful stuff. If I were to try to buy this or sell this in a store of basically local, organic, like superfood, nutrient dense moringa and nettles, concentrated into this is about a pound. That would be probably $40-50, honestly. So I'm saving myself a lot of money here, and I'm making sure I stay healthy and vibrant over the winter. So try it yourself. You can use other greens. You can use kale. You can use anything that doesn't have a lot of moisture content. Anything with like a flat leaf that will, it'll be very easy to kind of like dry out. That's the kind of greens you want to use. So you can experiment, but this is what I found works well for me.